Chapter 19. The judge in the family court had ordered that the exchange of Daisy take place at a neutral location. The spot, brokered by lawyers billing by the minute, was Sam's Burgers on the corner of Alma and Parker. Matt steered his Ford pickup off Alma and turned onto Parker. He'd folded the back seats of the extended cab, giving Daisy ample room. She sat looking out the window, head low, a faint whine in her chest. Unhappy at the prospect of a visit, he thought. He shook his head. Probably just his imagination. Jen was already there, sitting in her red Mustang. They split custody of Daisy, 1 week for Matt and 1 week for Jen. The weeks ran from Saturday morning until the next Saturday morning. Jen stepped out of the Mustang when she saw Matt's truck and waited. She was dressed in her usual gym attire, short shorts and a sports bra, an outfit that displayed her gym body. The image of her meeting with the fake hitman flashed across his mind. Looking at her now, waiting patiently for him to deliver Daisy, made the whole thing seem ridiculous. He hadn't heard from Oberst. Maybe that meant Jen had come to her senses. Should he mention it? He decided to keep quiet and let Oberst do her job. He parked a couple spaces away from her red Mustang and left the engine running. These exchanges never took long. They never spoke to one another. He reached for the rear door handle, about to let Daisy out, when the white Chevy Blazer rolled up fast. It stopped alongside the truck, driver's side window facing Matt's door. Matt saw the flash of metal first, the dark glint of a semi-automatic, even before the driver leaned out the window. A narrow-faced black man, eyes hard and cold. "This is for my brother, cop," the man snarled, and the world erupted. The first shot was a deafening crack. Matt felt the slug slam into the pillar right beside his head. More shots followed in rapid succession, each one punching into the truck's body, ripping through metal and glass. Matt threw himself face first onto the asphalt and rolled under the truck, grabbing for his revolver as he did so. Above him, the bullets continued, muffled slightly by the truck's undercarriage. He heard Jen screaming. Daisy, trapped inside the extended cab, was a frenzy of furious barking. "Jen! Take cover! Get out of there!" Matt yelled. He scrambled to the far side of the truck. Before he emerged on the passenger's side, he heard the squealing of tires, and by the time he crawled to his feet, the Chevy was disappearing down Parker. Jen rushed around the truck to his side. "Matt! Oh God, Matt! Are you okay? What was that?" She was breathless, eyes wide with terror and fright. She moved close and he held her. She trembled. "Are you okay?" he asked. I think so. Oh God, I think so." Matt released her and opened the rear passenger door. Daisy bounded out uninjured. Matt knelt for a second, burying his face in her fur, scratching behind her ears. "Watch her," he said to Jen. He reached inside his truck for his radio. Already in the distance, he heard police sirens. He called in the shooting, and from across Parker, 3 men ran in his direction. "We saw the whole thing," a tall man in a suit said. He pointed at the cafe across the street. "We were having breakfast and called 911. "Thank you. Do you mind hanging out? The police will be here in a minute and can take your statements," Matt said. The 3 men, all business types, were excited and chattered with Jen. Matt watched her, thinking of her meeting with the hitman. Had she set this up, or was it a coincidence? She certainly appeared scared out of her mind. On the other hand, he didn't believe in coincidences. She caught his eye and disengaged from the witnesses, walking towards him, her brow furrowed with concern. "What's wrong, Matt?" "You look somewhere else." He shook his head. "Nothing. Just, I think I'm in shock." The urge to grab her shoulders, to shake the truth out of her, was almost physically painful. He shoved the feeling down. Not now. A patrol unit arrived and then 2 more. The officers separated everyone and began taking statements. After giving his statement, Matt called Oberst. "Someone just tried to kill me," he said. "What? What happened?" Oberst demanded. "Jen and I exchanged Daisy on Saturday mornings. Someone took a shot at me. Multiple shots, actually." "Who's Daisy?" "The dog." "You're fucking kidding me. Knowing your wife is trying to put a hit out on you, and you decide it's a good idea to meet and exchange the dog?" Oberst snarled over the phone. "The divorce judge ordered the exchange. What do you want me to do? File a motion saying my wife is trying to kill me and I don't want to exchange the dog? What does that do to your investigation?" Find someone else to exchange the fucking dog. From now on, no more meetings. Come in later today. Call me before you come, and we'll talk. Matt ended the call and walked back over to the pickup, looking at the damage now that the immediate danger had passed. He counted 5 distinct bullet holes marring the side of the truck. They started high, just below the roofline, where the first one had struck the pillar and tracked downwards. 5 holes. He traced the line with his finger. Yeah. The gunman had tracked him as he dropped to the ground. He considered himself luckier than he had any right to be. Matt, Joe, and a half-dozen other detectives sat around a conference table at the Vista Ridge PD, discussing the murders of Merrick and Black. Opinions split down the middle. Half thought Reed McKnight should be arrested, and the other half, those with a history with McKnight, argued he didn't fit the crime. McKnight's not smart enough to stage this, Detective O'Brien argued. Detective Thompson leaned forward. So he got help. You think a father wouldn't go to extremes if his daughter was violated? The purpose of the meeting was to divide up the workload. The story in the local paper had instantly attracted national attention. Tips from well-meaning residents flooded in. At last count, there were 500 tip sheets, each of which needed investigating. The door to the conference room opened and Chief Wilson entered, followed by an attractive, well-dressed blonde, an FBI badge hanging prominently from her skirt. The room went silent as the detectives, all men, stared at her. To everyone's surprise, she strode directly to Matt. He rose to his feet. She stood on her tiptoes and kissed him on the cheek. Hey, big brother. He accepted the hug and kiss. I wondered when the FBI would stick their nose into this. Feigning hurt, Kathleen Barry said, That's an ugly attitude. I thought you'd be happy to see me. Matt ignored the tease. Who called you? She turned and motioned. Chief Wilson thinks the FBI's resources might be useful and asked us to join the team. Chief Wilson cleared his throat. Gentlemen, as you can see, I've invited the FBI to assist in this investigation. His eyes swept the room, making it clear this wasn't up for debate. We're dealing with what appears to be a serial killer with a specific MO. Agent Barry brings federal resources and expertise that we need. Since when are you a team player, Kat? Matt asked. Ouch, she said and winked at the other detectives. He really does love me, and he's overjoyed to see me, even though you can't really tell. The others chuckled. Kat was working them, Matt knew. She had that gift. She liked being the center of attention, and she loved being in charge. Wilson stepped forward. Let me be clear about why I've brought in the FBI. First, resources. This investigation is straining our department budget already. The Bureau can provide forensic assistance, behavioral analysis, and technical support we simply don't have. He ticked points off on his fingers. Second, manpower. We have other cases to handle. The FBI can dedicate agents solely to this investigation. Matt watched his sister's expression grow more satisfied with each point. Third, Wilson continued, experience. If we are dealing with a serial killer, which seems increasingly likely, the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit has more experience profiling these types of offenders than anyone in our department. Joe nodded in agreement, though Matt noticed several detectives shifting uncomfortably in their seats. And finally, Wilson said, I won't have it said that this department didn't do everything possible to solve these murders. The community is watching, the press is watching, and the victims' families deserve our absolute best effort. Kat, like Matt's other older siblings, was driven to succeed. She possessed the arsenal to make it happen. Looks, intelligence, and ambition. She ranked second in her high school class, attended a prestigious university where she did well, and then entered law school, graduating in the top 10% of her class. She rejected large money offers from big firms and opted instead for the FBI. After training, she managed to score an assignment in the Dallas field office. Matt respected her ambition but never subscribed to Kat's predator-prey theory. You're either predator or prey, Matt, she told him. Eat or be eaten. You can't go around being a nice guy. It doesn't work. In Kat's world, if a rival stumbled, you made the kill and moved on without looking back. The weak fed the strong. Kat approached the podium in the room, signaling she was taking charge. No one objected. She smiled at the men. My name is Kathleen Barry. I'm Matt's little sister. Please call me Kat. She paused for comments. There were none. I've read the case file and I'm impressed with the work done so far. But we need to move faster. She tapped a slim folder she'd placed on the podium. I've already dispatched a team to review surveillance footage within a 5-mile radius of both crime scenes. We're also running background on every person connected to both victims. Matt raised an eyebrow. She was moving fast. Additionally, she continued, I've arranged for the Bureau's crime lab to expedite testing on the physical evidence. Chief Wilson nodded approvingly. Agent Barry will be taking point on this investigation going forward. All information flows through her. All decisions go through her. But this remains a joint operation, Vista Ridge PD, the TBI, and FBI working together. Matt caught Joe's eye across the table. Joe gave an almost imperceptible shrug that said, What did you expect? The meeting continued for another hour as Kat laid out her plan. Matt had to admit, she was good. As the meeting wound down and people began gathering their notes and files, Kat approached Matt. Got a minute? She asked, gesturing toward the door. He followed her into the hallway, away from the others. Once they were alone, her professional demeanor shifted slightly. I got an interesting call yesterday, she said. Oh? From Valerie Chen, Senator Holcomb's aide. Kat watched his face carefully. She seemed quite upset about a local cop harassing the senator. I'm not a local cop, and I wasn't harassing anyone. I was following a lead. A lead that involved questioning a U.S. senator about his use of an escort service? Jesus, Matthew. What were you thinking? I was thinking about solving 2 murders. Kat sighed, rubbing her temple. You should have come at it from another angle. Never confront someone like Holcomb directly. You go through the aide. You have an off-the-record conversation. You get what you need without creating a political shitstorm. Since when do you care about political shitstorms? Since always, she shot back. It's how things work. You don't have to like it, but you do have to navigate it. Matt leaned against the wall. How do you know Valerie? We took a leadership seminar together last year. Hit it off. Kat crossed her arms. Look, I told her I'd handle it, that you'd back off the senator. And if I don't? Kat's eyes narrowed. Then you're making enemies you don't need to make, and you're complicating my investigation. Your investigation, Matt repeated. Our investigation, she corrected, softening slightly. I'm serious, Matt. Leave Holcomb alone for now. If we need to talk to him again, I'll handle it. There are ways to get information without burning bridges. Matt considered arguing further, but decided against it. Kat was right about one thing. Making an enemy of a U.S. senator wouldn't help solve the case. Fine, he said finally. She checked her watch. We'll talk more later. As she turned to leave, Matt called after her. It's good to see you, Kat. She looked back, a slight smile playing at her lips. You too, big brother. Try not to get in my way too much, okay?